Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Star Trek Generations by David Carson, starring Patrick Stewart and the next generation of the Star Trek cast. I believe we also have William Shatner in a smaller role to pass on the torch to Stewart and the gang. If you guys aren't aware, I'm making my way through the entire Star Trek movie catalog on the channel, and I have watched all 6 movies so far. With Wrath of Khan being my favorite. Please check them out when you have the time. I'll try and leave a link up there somewhere. Now on to Generations. I know that this is a continuation of the Next Generation TV show, but unfortunately I literally don't have the time to watch the almost 200 episodes of the show. So I asked my lovely patrons on how to proceed. I got a lot of responses ranging from you cannot watch the movies without watching the show, or the best episodes of the show, they're far superior to the movies, all the way down to you don't even need to watch the show to understand the movies, but it'll provide some additional context. I believe Hollywood wouldn't release such a big feature film for the people who only watch the show. I'm sure they'll try to appeal to the masses or the casual viewers, and that's where I fit in, hopefully. We ultimately came to a compromise where, just like I did with Wrath of Khan, I'll read the synopsis of some of the most important episodes to get some background. I believe for Wrath of Khan, I read up on Space Seed, but for the Next Generation movies, I've been told to read up on the pilot episode, Encounter at Fair Point, Q Who, Best of Both Worlds 1 and 2, Family, Redemption 1 and 2, and the finale, All Good Things 1 and 2. I did take quite a bit of time to read up on them. I know this is probably not enough. I'll get a lot of comments and hate for this, but it's the best I can do for now. I'll definitely be watching the next movie, First Contact, so if there are any additional episodes for context, please leave it in the comments below. For now, from my readings, and although I haven't seen them on screen yet, I am kind of familiar with Captain Picard, Worf, please correct me if my pronunciation is wrong, a Klingon who's also a part of the crew, Q, this omniscient being, Data, a synthetic intelligence crew member, Will Raker, the first officer, the Borgs, who are kind of antagonists, and also their cybernetic humanoids, if I'm not mistaken. And I've also read up a little on the character descriptions of the main crew. About the movie itself, I'm going in completely blind. I just hope that these movies, they can recapture some of the magic I felt with the first 6 films. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this movie and over 250 movies, 2 TV shows, early access and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along, and the links in the description below. Please consider being a patron, please subscribe to the channel, click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video, feel free to dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Star Trek Generations, Carson, Stewart, the next crew. Let's go. Star Trek Generations. Patrick Stewart. Brent Spriner. I believe I've heard that name before. LeVar Burton, I've definitely heard that name before. Ooh, Malcolm McDowell. He's a pretty good actor. Walter Koenig. Oh, okay. We got a couple of the old crew. And William Shatner is James T. Kirk. Ooh, I like the music. It sounds almost epic and inspirational. USS Enterprise. And it's a new one. It's the B. I believe we haven't seen the B variant before. Oh man, this never gets old. Such an iconic ship.
Can I ask you a few questions? Did you participate in the We'd like to know how you feel about being...
I remember reading about your missions when I was in grade school.
Alan Ruck. I know this actor from Succession.
This is the first Starship Enterprise in 30 years without James T. Kirk in command. How do you feel about that, sir?
Oh, just fine. I'm glad to be here to send her on her way.
Oh man, the captaincy.
Captain Demora, Ensign Demora Sulu.
Sulu? Is that Sulu's daughter?
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
It wouldn't be the Enterprise without a Sulu at the helm.
Thank you, sir.
Amen.
Scotty, it absolutely amazes me.
What would that be, sir?
Yeah, they're clearly older now.
Finding retirement a little lonely, are we?
You know, I'm glad you're an engineer. With tact like that, you'd make a lousy psychiatrist.
I'd be honored if you'd give the order to get underway.
All the
Thank you
media.
very much.
This is the maiden voyage for this new Enterprise.
Take us out.
I know it's ceremonial, but it does show a lot of respect to him. Wow. Yeah, the miniature modeling work of these Star Trek movies, they're so good.
We're picking up a distress call, Captain.
Already?
Signal the closest starship. We're in no condition to mount a rescue. We don't even have a full crew aboard.
We're the only one in range, sir.
He's not in command anymore, Kirk.
I guess it's up to us. Helm!
Oh, he's reluctant.
What the hell is that?
Their hulls are starting to buckle under the stress.
Things don't look good for them.
Tractor beam.
We don't have a tractor beam.
You left space dock without a tractor beam.
It won't be installed until Tuesday.
It's a soft launch. But no! One of them is destroyed.
265.
265 people just died.
The LeCoul's hull integrity is down to 12%.
I would appreciate any suggestions you might have.
First, move us within transporter range. Beam those people aboard the Enterprise.
What about the gravimetric distortions? They'll tear us apart.
Risk is part of the game. You want to sit in that chair.
Their life signs are phasing in and out of our space-time continuum.
Phasing to where?
Oh no! Holy crap, they all died!
I got 47 out of 150.
Everything is fine.
Why? Why?
Hey, it's Malcolm McDowell.
No, I have to go. I have to go back.
Stay right here.
No,
Okay, no.
you don't understand.
What was he talking about?
I have no idea.
But I'm sure that's important somehow. Dude, it's Whoopi Goldberg! I knew from my readings that she was in the TV show, but I didn't know she was in the movie.
Load torpedo bays. Prepare to fire. My command.
Captain, we don't have any torpedoes.
Don't tell me. Tuesday. I'll take care of it.
Oh wow, good for you, Kirk. I mean, it's probably not good for the ship, but that's a lot of character development. Giving up power voluntarily.
That's it. Let's go.
Activate main deflector.
So shaky.
We're clear.
You did it, Kirk!
Captain Kirk, please respond.
Yeah, they wouldn't kill off Kirk in the first 15 minutes, would they?
My God! Was anyone in here?
Huh. So is he dead or is he just missing? Maybe that's the mystery, whether Kirk is dead or alive. If he's actually dead from this scene, I would be a little disappointed. 78 years later? The Enterprise? I'm a little confused.
Are you prepared to face the charges?
Answer him.
Worf is a friendly.
Mr. Worf, I hereby promote you to the rank of Lieutenant Commander.
So it's a celebration. They're just playing. So are they actually on Earth?
I must confess, I am uncertain as to why someone falling into freezing water is amusing.
It's just hazing.
I do not understand.
Well, we don't expect you to understand, Data. You're the Spock of this crew. Are you having fun?
That was not funny.
Oh! It's a simulation! Picard just got some bad news. Man, I love Patrick Stewart. He's so good at subtle expressions. I know his work mostly from the X-Men movies, but he's amazing.
We're approaching Amargosa. Looks like the observatory took quite a beating.
I love their outfits.
Will you begin an investigation? I'll be in my ready room. Sir? Make it so. I thought you
Just
were
do it! It's all right. Do not struggle.
Oh, they found somebody who's still alive?
I'm Commander William Riker from Starship Enterprise.
Dude!
Whatever possessed you to push her in the water in the first place?
I thought it would be amusing.
Is she still angry?
I'd stay out of sickbay for a couple of days if I were you. You're not actually thinking about using that thing, are you?
For 34 years, I have endeavored to become more human. To grow beyond my original programming.
Interesting. I see his character and the parallels he has with Spock.
I am unable to grasp such a basic concept as humor.
Both are super smart. Both are almost human. Ooh.
Listen.
We found 2 dead Romulans on the station. Sir, is there anything
No, thank you.
I wonder why Picard is being so dismissive. Because clearly Riker has something he wants to say.
What? What are you feeling?
Happiness?
Ooh. Well, it looks like he hates it.
Yes. That is it. I hate this.
He hates it, but he keeps drinking. That's funny.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's how alcohol works.
I must continue a critical experiment I've been running on the Amagosa star.
We're still conducting our investigation into the attack.
Timing is very important in my experiments.
If you'll excuse me.
Again, being so dismissive, Picard.
They say time is the fire in which we burn. We leave so many things unfinished in our lives. I know you understand.
Huh. From my readings, I do know that Picard has a family. He has a brother who lives in France. He has a nephew. He has a sister-in-law.
During the Farpoint mission, we were on the bridge. You told a joke. That was the punchline.
Farpoint was the first episode of the show.
Open sesame!
You could say I have a magnetic personality.
One zinger after another. Now I'm starting to think whether that upgrade is really working or not.
I think something is wrong.
Dude.
LaForge to Enterprise.
Gentlemen, is there a problem?
How did you get on board?
Dr. Soren.
Were those Picard's brother and nephew? Because I do remember reading about them in the episode Family.
I was going to get together with them all next month. He's a dreamer. Imaginative.
I remember, yep, I remember reading that. Dude, did they
Very gentle.
die?
Robert and Renee, they're burned to death in the fire.
Holy crap.
It's all right. It's all right. Listening to music. Falling in love.
Yeah, that's unexpected.
I'd come to feel that Renee was as close as I would get to having a child of my own.
If I recall, his brother was against Renee being so interested in joining Starfleet.
You felt it was no longer your responsibility to carry on the family line.
Now he's worrying that the line ends with him because there's no other Picard left? Wow. That's sad.
But now there'll be no more Picards.
Dude. He's literally having an identity crisis.
Star is going to collapse in a matter of minutes.
Sir, the implosion has produced a level 12 shockwave.
How long before the shockwave hits the observatory?
A Klingon bird of prey is decloaking off the port bow.
A bird of prey? We know all about birds of prey. They can cloak. They have an invisibility cloak. They're getting beamed out. Dude. So Geordi has been kidnapped.
I have the weapon. And if you ever want me to give it to you, I would advise you to be a little more careful in the future, as are your plans to reconquer the Klingon Empire.
They're rogue Klingons.
He lost his entire family when the Borg destroyed his planet. Soren escaped with a handful of other refugees, but Soren and 46 others were rescued by the Enterprise B.
Right.
Guess who else was on board?
Soren is a name I haven't heard for a long time.
You remember him?
He just cares about getting back to the Nexus. And it's a place I've tried very, very hard to forget.
Is it like a pseudo heaven?
None of us wanted to go. And I would have done anything to get back there. If you go, you're not gonna care about anything. Not the ship, not Soren, not me, nothing.
I mean, it is dangerous for Picard because he did lose his brother and his nephew. And I'm sure when he gets to the Nexus, he's going to see his family again and he's going to want to stay there.
It's not very stylish, though, is it?
He's blind without his visor.
Data. You all right?
No, he's not at 100%.
Can you project its course?
Sir, I no longer want these emotions. Deactivating me is the only viable solution.
It's overwhelming him.
That's what Soren's doing. He's changing the course of the ribbon. But why? He can't get to the ribbon. So he's trying to make the ribbon come to him. Data. Does it pass near to any M-class planets, but not close enough? What would happen to the ribbon's course if Soren destroyed the Viridian star itself?
Viridian 3 is uninhabited. However, Viridian 4 supports a pre-industrial humanoid society.
Population?
230 million, sir.
This contains all the information you'll need to make a trilithian weapon.
A Federation starship is entering the system.
What?
We're still cloaked. They can't see us.
Klingon vessel.
I think it's time we gave Mr. LaForge's sight back.
Oh man, they're going to use Geordi somehow.
We did not harm your engineer. He's been our guest.
Then return him.
Receiving the coordinates, Captain.
Energize.
Welcome, Captain.
Soren!
A force field?
The visor's transmitting.
I knew it!
Where is he?
The visor is compromised.
You don't have to do this, Soren. I'm sure we can find another way of getting you into this Nexus. What you're about to do, Soren, is no different from when the Borg destroyed your world.
He doesn't care. He just wants to get back to the Nexus.
Nice try. Time has no meaning there.
Love scanning for life forms. Life forms. You tiny little
This is really weird behavior.
That's it. Replay from time index 94.
They know the Enterprise's frequency now, which is bad news for the shields.
We get one shot at this. Target their primary reactor.
Oh, holy crap. Yep. Bye-bye, bird of prey. But more impressively, I love this explosion. They got him.
Yes! Haven't you got anything better to do?
No. He's trying to prevent the deaths of hundreds of millions of people. Dude, that's a vulnerability.
Begin separation sequence. Full impulse power once we're clear.
Oh, man. I mean, it's horrible that it's happening to the Enterprise, but again, from a technical standpoint, I don't think we've ever seen this before. A shockwave.
Primary stabilizers offline.
Oh, shit.
They're crashing into the planet because they have no propulsion. That was a bad shot, my friend. Wow, I love how they're doing this entire sequence. Oh. Yeah, the visual effects, they're definitely a step up compared to the previous films. What a beautiful shot. Surprise, surprise. Is that the Nexus? Is it approaching the star system? It's too late! That's bad news. And we know that there'll be a shockwave, right? Oh dude, they're in! They're in the Nexus! Oh? Oh? Did they just kill everyone? Well, we know that Picard and Soren, they're inside the Nexus, this pseudo-heaven.
You scared? Look at the tree. I helped decorate it.
It took all day.
Say Merry Christmas, Papa.
He thinks he has children, and no wonder he doesn't want to leave. I thought he'd see his brother and nephew, but no. He sees his own family.
Oh, thank you very much, Renee.
Renee, his nephew.
Merry Christmas, Uncle.
And Merry Christmas to you, too.
Renee, can you help me with the table?
Oh man, this must be a powerful moment for those who've watched the TV show. I've read the synopsis of the episode.
This isn't right. This can't be real.
It's as real as you want it to be.
He's starting to realize the truth.
I know. I thought you were on board the Enterprise.
Same.
I am. Think of me as an echo of the person you know.
Go on without me.
Oh man. Must be very difficult for him to do.
Can I leave the Nexus?
Where would you go? You can go anywhere, anytime.
Oh!
All right, I know exactly where I want to go. To the mountaintop on Viridian 3, just before Soren destroyed the star. I have to stop it.
So they can go back in time.
I need help. Now, if you were to come back with me, together
I can't leave. But I bet I know someone who can. And from his point of view...
Kirk is alive, ladies and gentlemen. I knew they couldn't kill him off like that. And Picard is meeting Kirk for the first time. Worlds colliding.
Do you smell something burning?
I'm from what you would consider the future. The 24th century.
The future?
Since time has no meaning here,
this is the past.
From his perspective, he also just arrived at the Nexus.
We have to go back to a planet, Viridian 3. We have to stop a man called Soren from destroying a star.
I was out saving the galaxy when your grandfather was in diapers. Besides which, I think the galaxy owns you.
There's the Kirk we know, with the ego. I missed you.
And what did he get me? An empty house.
And now I see the parallels between both the characters. They don't have family.
Not this time.
We remember Kirk losing his son David.
This is the day I met Antonia. I can start all over again and do things right from day one.
But it's not real. I'm laughing because I'm 100% sure that's not really Shatner on the horse, and they can't show his face because it's a stuntman. Well, at least in this shot it's Shatner. Okay, fair enough.
I must have jumped that 50 times. Scared the hell out of me each time. Except this time.
Oh man, even he's coming to the realization now.
She isn't real either, is she? Nothing here is. Don't let them promote you. Don't let them transfer you. Don't let them do anything that takes you off the bridge of that ship, because while you're there, you can make a difference.
Wise words.
Come back with me.
I take it the odds are against us and the situation is grim.
Yes!
You could say that.
That's exactly the situation.
You know, if Spock were here, he'd say that I was an irrational, illogical human being for taking on a mission.
He brought up Spock. At least his name was mentioned, right?
Just who the hell are you?
One of the greatest captains ever.
And if I'm not too much mistaken, you're dead.
Oh. They can't seem to disable it without uncloaking it first. It's approaching. Is Kirk all right?
Now!
Locking clamps engaged. Goodbye, Soren, and an excellent explosion to go with it. Okay, things are a little too quiet for my liking. He's alive.
Did we do it? It was fun.
Are they killing off Kirk? Again? Dude, they killed off Kirk! I don't know how to feel about this. He was on the Enterprise B, he sacrificed himself, he wakes up in the Nexus, and then he gets out immediately and sacrifices himself again. So is that the end of Kirk? Is this how he dies? I got mixed feelings about this, guys. But at least he passed on the torch to the next generation.
I believe I have learned to control my feelings.
Yeah.
They will no longer control me.
One life sign, very faint.
Is it Kirk?
Spot!
Oh, it's just the cat. I mean, I'm happy for you.
I am happy to see Spot. Yet I am crying.
Yeah, they're called tears of joy, Data.
Someone once told me that time was a predator that stalked us all our lives. But I rather believe that time is a companion who goes with us on the journey.
I always thought I'd get a shot at this chair one day.
Perhaps you still will. Somehow I doubt that this will be the last ship to carry the name Enterprise.
There'll be a new Enterprise. So officially, everybody from the previous crew, they're either dead or gone. It's been 100 years, and we've got a new crew. Ooh, the visual effects were done by Industrial Light and Magic. No wonder they're so good. I'll be watching First Contact next, so if there are any episodes other than the 5 or 6 I read that I need to know, please let me know in the comments. But for now, that's it. Okay, I took a little time to collect my thoughts. First off, let's get one thing out of the way. I did enjoy that film for the most part. I thought the story was pretty good. The idea of the Nexus was intriguing. The performances, they were noteworthy. The score and sound design, they were also very good. And finally, the production values, there were nothing to complain about too. They were definitely a step above the previous installments. I did have mixed feelings about a couple of things. Although I liked Kirk was back and he helped pass the torch to the next generation, I have to admit, I'm a little mixed on how they handled his death. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against the idea of Kirk dying at the end. That was probably the only way they could keep Shatner out of the new movies with an ego that big. But I feel like they could have handled the situation a little better. His final act was heroic. He did help in saving the day at the end. But his death, how he just falls, I don't know, it was a little anticlimactic. I feel like it may have been a bit of a cop-out, dare I say, a little cheap for such an iconic character. Please let me know what you thought of it too. I'd love to know your opinions on Kirk's death and how the movie handled it. There was another thing I wish I saw more of, and that was the interactions between the next generation crew. I guess it's not a real complaint though, since these characters, they've already been fleshed out through 7 seasons of the TV show. But for newcomers like me, I would have liked to see a little more of them. I guess the film did have a little trouble in incorporating so many different plot points and characters in a single film. Let's start with the directing by David Carson and the script by Ronald Moore and Brannon Braga. The story here had to be a little complicated, a little convoluted, so I don't blame the writers and the director for this, as they had to bring so many different aspects of 2 separate crews together, and so many different plot points kind of converged in this one. The good news is that the story here did make sense. I hopefully understood the entirety of it. The old crew, Kirk, Chekov, and Scotty, they served kind of like a bookend to the movie. At least we see them at the beginning, at the end of the film. At least we see Kirk at the end. I like to think that Spock, Chekov, Uhura, Scotty, they all lived full lives and they died peacefully, but that's for another day. Even the new generation crew, they felt like they were right at their place, and I suspect that's mostly because they've already been playing these characters for like 7 years. It's like putting on an old pair of jeans. you're used to the role, and they were very good in their roles overall. I did enjoy everybody's performance. I don't think there were any particular weak links anywhere. My favorite two had to be from Patrick Stewart's Picard and Brent Spriner's Data. Both these characters, they've had significant development along with Shatner's Kirk. The second act of the film did feel like a little rushed because they were jumping all over the place. And I thought the villain here, Malcolm McDowell's Soren, didn't get too many scenes to flesh out his own character, but I do understand the decision behind it. This movie was not about him. This was meant to be a transitional film between the generations. His story arc was good enough for the movie though, so no complaints there. Reading the synopsis for the pilot episode and the episode Family was very important in understanding Picard's own family here, as this was a driving force for the character. I also found the parallels between him and Kirk very interesting too. Both men sacrificed in having a family for their love of duty and responsibility, and the film does explore their regrets, which is grade A writing. The movie also emphasizes the importance of their roles in Starfleet and by extension to the entire human race. I like that too. The ending, apart from the way that Kirk dies, was fairly enjoyable, and I am excited for the next movie, especially to see how the new crew will handle a new mission completely by themselves and without the help of their old friends. So, yay. Finally, from a production standpoint, this was also an improvement visually. The CGI and visual effects look much better than before. No wonder they were handled by ILM, the industry standard. And even the sets looked like they got a significant upgrade, so that's also good. The music was also unique for the next generation, especially in the first act of the movie. It sounded inspirational. I don't believe we got the old Star Trek theme by Jerry Goldsmith here. I'm pretty sure it was a creative decision for the next generation. While that's fine, I would have enjoyed a bit of nostalgia. Maybe as Kirk was dying, or when Kirk was introduced, we got a hint of Jerry Goldsmith stuff. But that's okay, that's okay. As I've talked about my criticisms in how they handled Kirk's death, overall, Star Trek Generations was almost everything I expected. I really enjoyed the film, and although this wasn't the best movie in the series, it's still Wrath of Khan, sorry, I did like how respectfully they handled the old crew, Kirk, Chekov, and Scotty. I kind of miss Spock. At least they mentioned him once. And I also liked how they passed on the torch to the next generation. The story was fairly well done. I also thought the performances were solid, especially from Patrick Stewart and Brent Spriner. The visual effects were also an improvement, and honestly, the movie did its job. It got me excited for the next film. First Contact. I just wish Kirk got a little more of a dignified death, if that makes any sense. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video. Feel free to dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.